What's up, Unbroken Nation? Hello, my friends. I'm Michael Unbroken, host of the Think Unbroken podcast and founder of thinkunbroken.com. And I'm honored to be your trauma coach and mentor because I believe that everyone is capable of getting unstuck, cultivating self-love, and becoming the hero of their own story. I believe that when implemented correctly, the practical tools and education you will receive from this show will help you lead an unbroken and extraordinary life. I believe that no matter what we come from, that we all have the ability to choose ourselves first, to create and manifest a powerful and grace-filled future and love the reflection in the mirror. I believe that every day is a day to grow, learn, heal, and change. That's why I started my company, thinkunbroken.com, which is an online training and healing and personal growth platform where you get everything that I know about how to get motivated, be accountable, get out of the vortex, and become the hero of your own story through community, connection, and commitment. For more information, visit thinkunbroken.com. Please listen closely as you may learn just one thing that will help you be unbroken. And please share this episode with at least 3 of your friends because we all need community and connection in our healing journey. And be sure to DM me and tag me on Instagram at Michael Unbroken so that I can say hi. I just want to thank you again for being a part of this, for listening and being a member of the Unbroken Nation. Now, let's get into today's show and make the world unbroken. Hey, what's up, my friends? Michael Unbroken here. Hope that you're having an amazing day wherever you are in the world. Today, I want to talk to you about this idea of growth mindset. So I've read unbelievable number of books in my life. I'm probably close to 500-600, somewhere in that window. And I was thinking about this idea of, okay, maybe if I share every now and then, maybe I'll make it a Friday thing, the books that I'm reading or the books that I've read or the books that have had impact in my life in the hopes that maybe they will do the same for you. And the first book that came to mind as I was thinking about doing this is Mindset by Carol Dweck. And the reason I want to talk about this book, and to be honest with you, it's one of my, I'd call it top 5 favorite books, because the power that it holds when you understand the differentiation between a fixed and growth mindset is unbelievable. And so Carol's book, Mindset, talks about the idea that we kind of live in 2 phases. We are either in a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. Now, I, for a very, very, very long time, lived within the scope of a fixed mindset. So what is a fixed mindset? For me, it was, I already predetermined everything. I was so much, it's so funny, I think about it now, going back in hindsight, I was so much this person that you couldn't tell me anything. I was always going to be right. I was always going to be in control. I always had it predetermined exactly why my life was the way that it was supposed to be. I lived into this idea, these notions, these narratives that everyone else had displaced upon me, saying, you're not good enough, strong enough, capable enough, right? But then more and deeper into that, I lived my life with this assumption that my life was exactly how it was supposed to be because of all the things that happened. And I would always feel pulled or called into this vast amount of stubbornness around my identity. And I recall these conversations with people, and they're like, you are a robot, or you won't let anyone in, or you always seem to have the answer, but you don't ever want to hear anyone's opinion. And if I rewind, I go back to being 18 years old, 21 years old, 25, 26, 27, a decade plus ago, I very much would not listen to anyone, like at all, in any capacity. This includes when people would forewarn me of horrendous potential mistakes that I was going to make. And I can assure you that because I did not listen, I made them all. I determined for myself way before I would ever have a conversation with someone whether or not I was going to listen to them. And I talk about this all the time about being open to following your intuition, to following your gut. And I think there's this really interesting fine line between that and being open to possibility. And so I would put myself in these situations where I would constantly put my back against the wall and someone would say, "Hey, have you thought about this?" I'm like, no. I know that the way that I'm going to do it is right. There's something to be said about stubbornness and the power that it can have in creating change in your life, but it can also hinder you. It can also be the idea that you would make up your mind about everything before you have all the data will hinder you. It will stop you from progressing. It will stop you from being successful. Having a fixed mindset is so much about this idea that you have already predetermined what's going to happen in your life. And that doesn't necessarily mean like your life can't expand, because I've saw it from my own self. But does that mean you're fully living into potential? And I certainly wasn't. And everything was fixed. I was disallowing any sort of possibility, any area in which I could have a back and forth with someone in conversation about anything around my life, and more so about the capabilities and possibilities that I had in my life. And I wish I would have had this book. This book's pretty recent, Mindset by Carol Dweck. Is a fairly recent book. It's only come out within the last few years. And I wish I would have had it 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago. Because one of the things when you look at people who, whether they are high performers or leaders or just showing up in their everyday life, who are just, I would measure people. I would look at people and say, man, that guy's so far ahead of me. I'll never be where they are. Or that woman has done so much. I can never imagine. That's just not going to be my life. I'm going to have to settle. That is the definition, textbook of a fixed mindset. And so just by, call it proximity, by proxy, by the fact that I was engaging myself into personal development, therapy, all those things, my mindset started changing. And mindset really being this thing about the way I thought, the way that I allowed the space for other people to interject into my life. And when I came across Carol Dweck's book, I was blown away because it actually helped me understand in a really vast way how I had created this massive life-changing shift. And that shift was in what I allowed to be possible in my life. And a growth mindset is very simple. Can you open up your mind to the possibility that anything is possible? That not only that anything is possible, but that there are multiple ways to reach solutions. And more so, that you can take in data from other sources. Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? Michael here. I just wanted to take a moment and invite you to the Think Unbroken community coaching sessions. We start these sessions at the beginning of every month, and we take a deep dive into the baseline and frameworks of what it means to get out of the vortex and become the hero of your own story through community, connection, commitment, and education. You can learn more about this at healtraumacoach.com, where you can fill out an application and sign up for a trauma healing call with me or my team to see if the Think Unbroken community coaching sessions is right for you. That's at healtraumacoach.com. We start at the beginning of every month. I cannot wait to see you there. And I'll be honest with you, if I'm not the right fit for you, we will help you find the person that can help you on your journey. If I would have these words years ago, I don't know where I would be. Life would likely be different, maybe, or maybe be further along in this journey of Think Unbroken than I am at this moment. Now, that's neither here nor there, so I don't know that it necessarily matters, but my point is, when I started getting into this idea of really leveraging a growth mindset, it turned me into a learner, and it put me in a position to start thinking about life from all different avenues. I say this all the time. Coaches have coaches, and don't ever work with one who doesn't. And I have a coach for literally everything: fitness, my voice, mindset, business. There's a couple more, and podcasting. I have a podcasting coach, right? So the whole nine. I have someone or someone's, multiple people in my life who I always can look to mentorship. Now, that also includes books. Like I seriously read, this year I'm on pace for about 64 books. I could get more. We'll see what happens. And so books are a great source for data, for information, to be a learner, as well as YouTube and even podcasts. And so what I'm always trying to do is consume information in a way that helps me make more thought out and practical decisions. I've tried to move away from this idea of making mistakes by being vehemently stubborn because it costs time, effort, energy, and money. And often my stubbornness would set me back instead of projecting me forward. Now, I do think there is space again for being stubborn or having your mind made up and not allowing people's opinions in, especially when it comes to your intuitions, because you really have to learn to trust yourself again. But stepping into this idea of growth means that you can adapt other people's thoughts, feelings, or emotions around a certain situation and make meaning of them in a way that could help transform your life. And when I started getting into this idea of a growth mindset and really doubling down on it, if I had a singular word to describe the difference that made the most change in my life during this journey, it would be growth. Growth. And growth to me at this time, speaking in this moment, is how big can I go? Not only in business, but in career and life and relationships and friendships and community and volunteering and in foundations and charities and talking to people and podcasts. Like, how expansive can I make my life? How big can I go while allowing other people to interject? Now, I think that you have to have a lot of clarity and intention about the people that you are parlaying with in your life. And so vet them, do your research, make sure they fit, but also find the right books for you. Watch the right YouTube videos, listen to the right podcasts that are in alignment with the future that you're trying to create. One of the best things that you can do in your life is get really clear about big things. I talk about goals frequently, and the idea that even I think often too small. One of my biggest missions is, can I help heal 250 million people despite generational trauma in the next 8 years? That goal is gigantic, right? And I recognize that's a huge undertaking, and I fully believe it's possible. And because I have a growth mindset, I'm always looking at, well, what tools can I bring into my life? More certifications, more education, more time speaking with people who are leading the way, who are subject matter experts, more time healing myself, more time in the gym, more time with my coaches, more time making sure that I'm taking care of myself and taking bits and pieces from the experts around me to adapt into my life. And then not only allowing that information to soak in, but using it. One of the big things that I try to do in my life is when I adapt new information is to deploy it as soon as I can. Because what good is a notebook if you're not going to write in it? What good is having a tool if you're not going to build a house with it? What good is shifting something in your mind and not doing anything with it? And so when you step into having this growth mindset and are willing to see what happens on the other side, the expansion of your life will be gigantic. So I want to tell you this. The most simplified way that I can think to kind of wrap this up today, because I want to keep it short, is this. Ask yourself this question. Do I have a fixed mindset? Am I limiting the possibility of my life because I've already predetermined all potential outcomes and no one or nothing is going to shift the way that I think? Or do you have a growth mindset and you're willing to ask hard questions and you're willing to take in data and you're willing to try different things and you're willing to show up even though you don't have all the answers? Because if you ask yourself this question, you're going to get really clear really fast on the trajectory of your life. You're going to cap out. On a long enough timeline, you will cap out potential if you have a fixed mindset. But when you have a growth mindset, for lack of a better term, the sky is the limit, my friends. So thank you, as usual, for hanging out with me today. Thank you for listening to the Think Unbroken podcast. Thank you for subscribing, for all of the awesome reviews you guys are bringing in, for all the love on the episodes with the recent guests. I appreciate you so much. I'm so grateful that you'd be willing to even spend your time with me today. And please like, subscribe, comment, leave a review, tell a friend. And until next time, my friends, be unbroken. I'll see ya. Unbroken Nation, hope that you just got a tremendous amount of value from today's episode. I want to know what you think. Please do me a favor and review, rate, and share the episode with 3 friends on social media today. It would mean the world if you did, because ultimately at the end of the day, creating community and connection is how we heal generational trauma in the world. And I need your help to do that, Unbroken Nation. So if you're on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you are, please like, comment, share, review. I want to know not only what you like about the show, but how I can make the show better, how I can make this further about helping you on your healing journey. So do me a favor, and when you do, shoot me a screenshot of you making the review to my DM at Michael Unbroken on Instagram so that I can have a conversation with you, say hi, and more importantly, so I can share it with the Unbroken Nation. Thank you so much, my friend.